Hello, and welcome to my first video on this channel. I'm Bulbasaur, and today I will be ranking all 48 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give it a like, and if you really enjoy it, it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. I'll mainly be making videos about Nintendo Switch games on this channel, if that's what you're interested in. So, let's get on to ranking the tracks. Number 48, Donut Plains 3. Unfortunately, the SNES tracks aren't exactly masterpieces compared to the newer tracks, and to me this track is the most boring in the game. Sure, it looks okay, but it's just a bit too flat, and playing it feels a bit too repetitive. Number 47, Toad's Turnpike. This track is just one big 8, and quite frankly, every time I crash into a car, it makes me dislike the track even more. It isn't fun to drive at all, and the only reason I have it above Donut Plains 3 is because it looks alright. Number 46, Mario Circuit. Yet another track that is just an 8, but at least this time, there is a bit more variety throughout the track. I actually find the long turn at the start of the track quite satisfying, and I think that the Goomba stacks are quite cool, but it's still a pretty boring and forgettable track. Number 45, Animal Crossing. Okay, I get that there are 4 different designs based on the 4 different seasons, which is admittedly quite unique. However, I don't really get much enjoyment playing this track because I just find it a bit too simple. Number 44, Game Boy Advance Mario Circuit. This is the first track that I find okay. I'd still say it's a bit on the boring and empty side, but I don't think it's bad. I think the air portion saves it from being too flat like Donut Plains 3. Number 43, Mario Kart Stadium. This track is pretty much GBA Mario Circuit, except it looks nicer. I'd say it's still a little boring to drive, but the design is really cool, and I really like the look of the stadium. Number 42, SNES Rainbow Road. Like Donut Plains 3, this track is completely flat, but being a rainbow road, it looks pretty cool. I really enjoy when I can do the small shortcut just before the end of the track, because it usually bumps me up a couple of places. Number 41, Royal Raceway. I think this track looks beautiful. I really like the pink and white theme. Unfortunately, there isn't much else going for the track, since the track itself is rather simple, though the ramp towards the end adds a little variety. Number 40, Ice Ice Outpost. I think the idea of the split paths found in multiple tracks in this game is really interesting, but I'd say this track executes it the worst. I still really like the design and the flow of the track, but I simply don't think it benefits from the twin paths. Number 39, Moo Moo Meadows. The nostalgia from this track, and especially from the music, really brings back memories from when me and my brother would just play Mario Kart Wii all the time. However, compared to the other tracks in this game, it's just a bit too basic. Number 38, Sherbet Land. I really like the fact that you can choose to go underwater or stay on the ice. Usually I prefer to stay on the ice, but I still really like the idea. I think the other parts of the track are a bit simple and basic, but aside from that it's a nice track. Number 37, Super Bell Subway. About a year ago, this was without a doubt my least favourite track, because almost every time I drove through the subway I'd hit a train. However, now that I'm a bit better at the game, I don't hate it as much, but I still don't particularly enjoy it. Number 36, Excite Bike Arena. The randomness of the components of this track is really cool, and it keeps the track from being too repetitive. However, at the end of the day, it is still one big loop, which just makes it feel a bit plain. One thing I do enjoy though, is getting a star or a golden mushroom and just being able to drive on the grass and skip the sections of the course. Number 35, Water Park. I really like how this one looks, and I think the whole theme of being located in a water park is really cool. I really enjoy driving through the water and flying through the Ferris wheel at the end. I'd say this is probably the first track on this list that I genuinely enjoy playing. Number 34, Cheeseland. Who would have thought that a track based on driving on, under and through cheese would work this well? I really like the course layout and the plethora of shortcuts that there are. Number 33, Dragon Driftway. This track looks nice and plays well too. but to me it's just a little bit forgettable, and I wouldn't say that there's anything making this one particularly stand out, but it's still fun to play. Number 32, Electrodrome. The music on this track goes well with the theme, and in terms of actually driving it, this track does a good job of keeping the layout varied throughout. I don't really dislike anything about this track, I just like others more. Number 31, Bone Dry Dunes. I'm going to be honest and say I don't even know what the whole track looks like, because I've never driven on the low path where the tracks split. Nevertheless, this is a fun track to play with lots of opportunities to pull some sneaky overtakes. Number 30, Wario's Gold Mine. Yet another track that sets the nostalgia meter racing. I enjoy this track not only because of the awesome music, but because of the layout of the track. I find the bats a bit pointless and annoying, but aside from that, this is a great track. Number 29, Sweet Sweet Canyon. Something about this track just makes me smile. The fact that the road is a literal cake just seems really nice to me. Like Cheeseland, you wouldn't think that a track made out of cake would work, but it definitely does. Number 28, Dry Dry Desert. A lot of this track is pretty simple, but to me, the Oasis section really saves it. Every time I drive through it and trick off the hills, it just makes me enjoy the track. I also like how pillars fall throughout the course of the race, providing you with more opportunities to trick off ramps and gain a slight boost. Number 27, Ribbon Road. I find this track incredibly fun to drive, and I think it looks really nice. I really like all the colours, and I think they make the track look so much more interesting. Also, I really like how you can trick off the road in the middle of the track, because it makes it that much more fun. Number 26, Wario Stadium. I really like how this track stays unique and enticing throughout the whole track, since each section feels completely different to the last. It makes for a really fun experience, and the fact that a track I think so highly of is in 26 shows the high quality of this game. Number 25, Piranha Plant Pipeway. At first, I didn't really like this track, I found some of the turns really annoying. However, nowadays, I think it looks really nice, and it plays extremely well. My favourite part is that long turn just before coming back up to the surface, because I think it looks incredibly cool. Number 24, Cheap Cheap Beach. To me, the best thing about this track is the contrast between the beach section and the forest section. I think the two go together really nicely, and together they make the track so much more interesting than it would have been if it was just one of these two themes. Number 23, Grumble Volcano. The music on this track really adds to the tension that comes from the track, that is literally falling apart whilst you're driving on it. To me, this track really feels different from the majority of other tracks, because of the sense of danger you feel whilst driving, which makes me like the track all the more. Number 22, Shy Guy Falls. The music on this track makes me feel so happy, and I think it really adds to the quality of the track. On top of that, the fact that you drive up a waterfall seems so cool, and I think it's a really nice idea, which makes the track get something unique. Number 21, Toad Harbour. My favourite thing about this track is the wide section at the end where everyone is driving downhill, because more often than not it's absolute pandemonium, since everyone is just restocked on items and is ready to go on the attack to rise those couple of places just before the end of the race. Number 20, Cloud Top Cruise. I think that the best feature of this track is definitely the music. Taken from the Gusty Garden Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy. It just makes me sing along every time I hear it. As well as that, the transition to the electric guitar in the Storm Cloud section adds a little bit of musical variety and contrast. Number 19, Hyrule Circuit. Despite having never played any Legend of Zelda games, I really like this track. I think it looks really polished and incredibly stunning, and driving the track feels really smooth too. Also, I think the whole idea of unlocking a shortcut in the castle is a really good addition, even though it barely gets opened. Number 18, Melody Motorway. As a musician myself, I feel like I have a special connection with this one. Aside from that, this track looks really cool. I especially like the throwback to Wii music, which was and still is one of my favourite Wii games. As well as that, I love how you can hear the instruments as you drive over them. Number 17, Twisted Mansion. This track really gives off haunted house vibes, and I absolutely love it. The music does a really good job capturing the mood of this track, and on top of that, the layout makes the track really fun to drive. and the feeling you get from doing the grass shortcut at the end to snatch the win is absolutely amazing. Number 16, Baby Park. I know I mentioned in a lot of the lower tracks that they were low because they were simple, but the reason that Baby Park isn't with them is because I really enjoy the chaos that always occurs on this track. I know a lot of people don't like this track because of the unpredictability of it, but I think that makes the track even more fun. Number 15, Yoshi Valley. This track takes split paths to the extreme, which I think is a really cool concept, even though people only tend to use one of the paths because it's faster than the others. However, the best part of this track is that the multiple paths give you the ability to dodge blue shells, and it's really satisfying watching a blue shell fly straight past you. Number 14, DK Jungle. Okay, from this point on, I love all of these tracks, and it's only slight things that mean I like some more than others. With DK Jungle, I love the colours, and I think that the temple looks incredible. I also really enjoy the shortcuts in this track because they give you slight advantages rather than giving you an unstoppable lead. Number 13, Yoshi Circuit. This one is special to me because this is by far the one that me and my brother get the most competitive on. To me, the fun in this track comes from its combined simplicity and somewhat difficult turns, which in my opinion make the track incredibly balanced and really fun to play. Number 12, Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road. I really enjoy playing this track mainly because of the layout. It looks pretty nice, and I think that the space station theme works really well, but to me the best part about this track is the difficulty, since you have to be really careful on some of the turns. It requires a decent amount of skill to be able to drive this track well. Barely missing out on the top 10 in number 11 is Mute City. Everything about this track is epic. The music is really cool and the track looks incredible. Every time I play this track I am even more impressed by the look of this track, and it makes my experience of playing it that much more positive. Number 10, TikTok Clock. This one has a really naturally flowing layout, which makes driving it feel really smooth. On top of that, the music does a really good job of making you feel like you are inside a clock. Furthermore, the way the end of the track is designed always seems to result in some last second overtake, which makes the game all the more interesting and fun. Number 9, Bowser's Castle. I love playing this track. It looks amazing, and the quintessential dark colours mixed with the orange of the lava make it feel really evil. I love the flow of this track, and I mean, what can be more cool than trying to avoid a giant lava Bowser's punches? Number 8, Swamp Ruins. I really enjoy playing this track. I absolutely love the theme of a swamp temple, and the music is so good. I think that the track is so much fun to play, and every time I do play it, I feel like I'm enjoying myself so much, because to me, this track is absolutely flawless. Number 7, Dolphin Shoals. Even though the layout and design of this level are really good, and even though the underwater theme is executed really well, the best part about this track is, and will always be, the music. The saxophone mixed with the steel drum when you go underwater just makes the track so enjoyable, because you can't do anything but smile whilst hearing this incredible music. Number 6, Wild Woods. This one's interesting because there isn't anything in particular about this track that really stands out. It's just that everything about it is amazing. The layout is really fun to drive, and when you're driving through the tunnel with the water, you feel like you're going uncontrollably fast, but it just works. As well as that, the design looks really cool, and the theme works so well. It just makes the track incredible. Number 5, Cooper City. I really like everything about this track, but by far the best thing is the beautiful design. The beautiful colours that work so well together, buildings and the signs that just add that extra bit of detail, and the rain, oh my god, the rain! It's so effective to make the track even more beautiful than it already was. Number 4, N64 Rainbow Road. This track is near perfect in every way. The colours and the theme are absolutely beautiful and stunning. The layout of the track is simple, but it flows really well. The music is, for lack of a better term, euphoric, and it just adds to the emotion and the thrill of the track. Also, I can't talk about this track without mentioning the very generous train. Thanks for all the coins. Number 3, Sunshine Airport. This track is really fun to play. The varied combination of ground track and air track makes this so incredibly amazing. The airport theme looks so good and the music is really uplifting, and once again I can't help but sing along to it whenever I play this track. Number 2. Big Blue. Everything about this track is incredible. The music yet again adds to the thrill of the track, and the layout is amazing. With this track, it always feels like something new is round the corner, because it is. Even after having played this track many times, it always feels fresh. On top of all that, the design of both the track itself and the background is truly remarkable, and make an already great track immense. So that brings us to the number 1, Mount Wario. To me, this track has everything. The music mirrors the flow and emotion of the track so well. The design looks really well made and it feels so polished, since everything just works. And finally, the layout of this track, like in Big Blue, makes each section feel completely different from the last. For me, what makes this even better than Big Blue is the contrast between the different sections, with this track having you start on the top of a mountain, then driving through a cave, then a dam, then a forest, and then finishing down a ski slope. This track simply has everything and executes it all perfectly, which is why it's completely deserving of the number 1 spot. So, that was my ranking of the 48 tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Do you agree with my list? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you've made it this far, I would just like to thank you for watching my video. Like I said at the start, I'll be making videos about Nintendo Switch games on this channel, so if you want to see more, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. See you soon. Bye!